Hey guys, welcome. I am so excited. This is like an intro to my channel, and I guess it's going to be a vlog. I am just, like doing my regular everyday things. I actually have not done a vlog before, but I am thinking I would like to try, like vlogging. And so that's what I'm doing now. And I'm like, oh my God, my question in my mind was, what am I supposed to be doing while I'm vlogging? Some of the things I'm like, oh, the other girls go shopping, or I don't know, they do a whole bunch of fun stuff. But then I'm like, oh my God, I am so new to this. So I'm thinking, I don't necessarily have to have a plan. I can just make it up as I go. And so that's what I'm going to do. So, welcome to my humble little living space. It's a space that I am obviously still working on because it's okay and I can always make it better. And so part of what I'm doing today is cleaning up. I would like to clean my blinds. I would like to mop my floors because I was like, oh my God, I need to mop my floors more often because I'm just like, I'm one of those people who's like, I want to sit on my floors, right? So I want to sit on the floors. So I would like to get in the habit of cleaning my floor more often. So in this vlog, I'm going to update you guys on how many times I have cleaned my floor a week, each of the weeks at the end of, like this process, right? Because I'm like, that is a goal of mine, and I want to have like those floors that are so clean. You're like, oh, I don't even like, like I'm just going to sit on them, right? I'm just going to sit on the floor without worrying too much. Although, like I have to store my shoes in my room because my space is tiny. And as much I live with my family, but I absolutely I'm like getting in the habit of respecting everyone's space, respecting everyone's things, especially my mother. Like that is something that I didn't realize I'm so horrible at until recently. Just seeing how much I just pick up my mom's little things. I pick up her clothes, I pick up her shoes, and I wear them, right? So noticing that for me has been like so mind blowing. I'm just like, oh my God, what a terrible, what a terrible habit. Because I noticed that especially more when it's happening with little things where, like I'm expecting for something to be in a place and then it's not. And then I go, how terrible for my mother. Like all these years living with us, she has been placing things and then she finds them missing because it's like, oh, one of your daughters is wearing your shoes or your dress, right? And I'm like, oh my God, that really is a super irritating feeling. So I'm correcting that and I'm just trying to live in my little space and not invade in my mom and the rest of my family's space, right? It's not easy. I'm trying to get used to it. It's something that's so new for me. So I'm like, whew, wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck because I absolutely need luck and prayers to get that done. But I'm going to clean my blinds today. Guys, I just wanted to say, like as I am starting this process of vlogging, I don't know where you live. I don't know what the culture is like. I don't know how the people dress. So I just wanted to start with a disclaimer and go, you know, uh, it's fun when, like you find people that you like and you're like, oh, let me try and copy some of her style. But you have to be absolutely mindful, right? Because maybe where you live, some of my outfits will not be appropriate there. So it's something like this. If you live in a spot where everyone you see is dressed like this, then by all means, or most people, right? So you go outside and you don't have a problem finding a few women who are dressed in skirts or dresses that are as long as that, right? So you go, oh, so that's like it's reasonable for me to wear that. And so let's say if, on the other hand, the normal dress length for most of the women that you see around you, or if your mom is super bougie and this is her normal dress length, most likely that is what you should go with as well. And if you look around you and you see that the rest of the women are wearing dress lengths that are this long, these shorts, and it's absolutely fine in your community or society, then by all means, absolutely do. I consider myself to be living in a society where women are quite liberated, and so, we are free to wear whatever we want to. But I will not assume that it is the case for everyone, and so I like to just let women, be aware of the fact that, unless you are willing to live with the pressure that comes with, being different from the rest of the women or people around you, you really should try and do what the other women around you are doing, right? And so for myself, I consider myself to be quite liberated as a woman. And so I go, when I wear something like this, I'm still like, oh, I feel amazing. And I don't think that most of the people that I love so much and whose opinions matter to me will really judge me about my dress, except for my mom every now and then. But then I go, that's okay. My mother is my best friend, so I can, I'm just like, it's okay. It's okay, Mom. I know that this is not your thing, but it is my thing. And at this point, I am grown enough. As you can see, I'm also giving you the space in terms of your house. So I can just wear my dresses. And I know that the concern as a mom is like, oh my God, why is my daughter wearing that little dress? But I'm just like, I see the other girls around me wearing it, and so I'm like, you're not stopping me, right? So I'm like, me and these short dresses are like an item. So you're not going to stop me, not at this point. Like maybe when I was still younger, and so I was dependent on you for getting dressed and all those types of things. But at this point, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. And so I'm just like, if you're not that woman or that girl, just don't. Wear what everyone else is wearing. And don't say that, oh, this girl whose vlogs I was watching, she's the one who told me to just wear what I want to wear when I want to wear. That's not what I'm saying at all. However, I'm all for it's okay to have a little opposition in your life and to have to just go, you know what, as much as you don't agree with me doing that, that is exactly what I'm going to do. And so you go ahead and do it, which is what I do when I wear some of these dresses sometimes, although my mom has talked to me so many times and just gone, wow, how concerning. But I'm like, the other women around me, they wear them, so why not? And my little shorts, I'm like, every now and then when I wear them, I'm like, the only reason I won't wear them is because I have gained weight, but it's not because of, other people's opinions. So it's usually like for myself. But I like to let you be aware of that so that you're not wearing clothes that maybe are not, are not the standard in your community. And then you're surprised when, people go, ooh, so odd. Why did she wear that dress? And they actually backbite you. Or, they end up saying nasty things behind your back, right? So you have to always be aware of that. And I am aware of that. And I just wanted to let you know. So some of my outfits, I'm like, you may like some of them, you may not. And that's absolutely fine. But please wear what is comfortable for you, what is normal for most people around you, unless you want to have a life full of friction, right? But I also say, generally, most people should not really be causing friction for you about your clothes. But it can be uncomfortable to be noticed, right? For many people, being noticed is something that causes a lot of discomfort. So that's just why I wanted to let you, like, be aware of that. Not so much because of other people, but because it is a bit uncomfortable to be noticed. So if you didn't know that, you should probably know that before you wear something that's like, ooh, I'm standing out compared to everyone else around me. Anyways, so this vlog was supposed to be about me cleaning my blinds, and I'm going to get to that, but I am a bit of a lazy girl and I like to take my time, and I'm like, oh, I know that I was going to clean the blinds, but must I do it immediately, or can I take my time? And then when I ask myself that, I just go ahead and take my time, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to take my time and then I'm going to clean these blinds at some point. What point that is, only God knows. I, on the other hand, I'm just taking things as they come, right? So it's one of those things. That's why I'm like, I have a tiny little room and I can barely keep it clean. So, when you start thinking of, oh, get yourself a big house, but then you're like, you cannot even keep your one little room clean, right? So that is my problem. So I'm like, I'm figuring by the time I save up to get myself a house, maybe I'll be good at cleaning my little room. But before then, like, my consolation in not having a house yet is that I can barely keep my little one room clean. So I guess right now I am working hard to not be lazy, to not be as slow as I am, so that I can clean my room better and just go, wow, those ambitions of having a house make sense now, because when we walk into your room, we don't see any dust, right? But now my room is full of dust. The floor is dirty. Sometimes I think, oh, let me sit on my floor, and I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because, yeah, unless I'm cleaning, like I'm mopping this floor like 3 times a week, I'm like, I am not sitting on this floor. I am not sitting on this floor unless I have a mat. And let me just show you my room. I love mirrors, so I have some mirrors here. I have some artwork here. I have some photos of me and my family. But yeah, and then I have this side of my room. And I have always been like, oh my God, I love those girls who are like plant moms. Like, it just looks so interesting to me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. So I got myself a whole bunch of plants, but this is the surviving plant. This is the surviving plant. It's one of my favorite plants. I love it because it's so sturdy. I love it because I don't need to do too much to take care of it. And it looks so good. And I have my table there and some of my artwork. My little fridge, which honestly, I'm having a really time setting the correct temperature. However, I am getting to it, right? But that is my little room, and I'll show you more things as we go. Oh, I guess, you know what? My arrangement here is a bit messy because I'm using this spot to film to place my laptop there. So at some point I'll show you that spot as well. But yeah, I am sure thrilled. I am sure thrilled, and this is something that's new for me, and so I'm just trying it out and seeing how it goes. But otherwise, I will see you on my next activity. Mwah. So, you know what I told you guys about slacking off, right? That's exactly what I'm doing now. I mean, I could already be cleaning my blinds, but then I'm like, oh, let me slack off for a little while. And so I'm like, yeah, let me slack off for a little while. So right now I'm slacking off when the truth is I really could be cleaning my blinds. But then I'm like, oh, let me just slack off. Let me slack off and see what happens if I slack off. Right? And so that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm slacking off rather than be cleaning my blinds. And so that's why I'm like, I am not in a rush to buy myself a home because, if I'm going to slack off this much, do I really need a whole house yet? Right? Do I really need a whole house? Yes. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I can still live with my mom for a while. And I'm like, oh, what should I slack off to? What should I slack off to? And I'm like, oh, maybe understanding globalization. But then you know what? I'm like, no, 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 no. I already read this one. So that is not like, like something that I'm going to slack off to. I'm just going to go to sleep, or maybe I'll just lounge around here. But then I'm also so hungry. So maybe eventually I'll actually just get up and go and get myself some food. But right now, I'm just happy and content to slack off. And then later on, I'm going to clean my blinds. What that time is, like I said, only God knows. But it will probably be done by the time I'm posting this video. Okay? So, guys, I was just going, am I the only one who has such a difficult time like finding snacks? Because I don't know, I have hardly ever been a sweets girl, right? But lately I find myself craving like sweets, and sometimes I'm like, oh, let me have a fruit, let me have a sweet fruit, and maybe that will, like fix my sweet cravings. But then sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, I've had a whole bunch of fruit, but I'm still craving sweets, right? And so it's so difficult for me, like snacking. And then I go, oh, let me get myself some candy. But then when I get candy, I'm like, oh, I don't know, like I can't overindulge because you know that candy is bad for your teeth. Anyways, here I am. I barely have any snacks in my house, but then I look around and I'm like, oh, I found some yummy strawberry candy that I had left sitting around like a while ago, right? And so I'm like, right now, I literally have no fruits. I have no like pop. So I'm like, I'm going to die because I'm craving sugar. And obviously, my remedy for my sugar cravings is not to like go and get a spoon of sugar. So I'm so glad that I found this candy. But before I have some of this candy, I was like, oh my God. So talk about cleaning, which is what I am, like I'm doing some cleaning in this vlog, right? I was like, I just kept like I just walked into my room a little while ago and I found a whole bunch of like little insects. And I'm like, oh my God, where did these guys come from? And they were just so annoying, like they were everywhere. And I'm just like, where did they come from? And then, mosquitoes can be so deadly, right? They cause a lot of pain, they cause a lot of damage. And so I'm like, I have barely ever bought like insecticide, especially because my mom has usually done most of those things, right? So I'm like, I had to go and get myself some insecticide because I was just like, I have little bugs that just keep biting me and they are causing pain. They are causing pain. They're so annoying. I tried to resort to other methods before, like getting the insecticide. I was like, oh, let me open the door so that I can let them out, right? But then they're like, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with themselves. So I'm like, oh my God, I feel so unethical to get an insecticide and kill all these little bugs like at the same time, right? Because then it just makes me feel like a murderer. I feel like I'm like, oh my God, are you allowed to kill this many like insects at the same time, right? I'm like, I don't think so. But then there were so many of them, and this is like my living space, right? This is my living space, and I would otherwise not mind at all if they were outside, but they were in my little bedroom, and my bedroom is so tiny, right? But then I honestly, like, I have hardly ever done this, but I felt like such a horrible person to kill all those little bugs like at once. And then now I have some little ones again, right? But then I'm like, I don't know. Do you guys ever feel that way as well? And then, like, where do you draw the line? Because you're like, this is in my bedroom though, right? This is in my bedroom. And as much as I feel horrible, I'm like, I feel so, like odd when I walk in and there's this many little bags in my room, right? So I'm like, oh my God, let me go and get myself the insecticide. But I guess that is, like part of that whole adulting phase. And then, yeah, but I felt like such a terrible person. Felt like such a terrible person, but I had to get rid of them. It's kind of like when I find spiders sometimes, I'm like, ooh, I can, like just let the spider out safely when I have the time. But what about when I don't have the time, right? When I am in a rush or it's the middle of the night and I just get spooked by a spider, right? And I'm like, oh my God, do something about it. And so I do. But then when I found all those insects in my room and did something about it, because I was just like, these guys are biting me. These guys are causing a whole bunch of pain. I opened the door and I gave them, like the opportunity to go out, and then they just wouldn't, right? So they couldn't decide what to do with themselves. And I was like, oh my God, I have to get rid of them like one way or another, right? So I did, but I felt like, I don't know, I felt like such a horrible person. But then on the other hand, I'm still like, I cannot let myself be beat on a regular basis by like, like little cute flies, right? Because it's just like, oh, I need to do something about it. These are the times that you start to appreciate your parents because you realize how much they were doing for you when you now have to do those things by yourself, and you start going, oh, someone has to make these decisions, right? And then you start thinking about ethics and you start going, I don't know, like, but I was just like, oh my God, like it made me feel so horrible, but I could not live with them. They just kept biting me, and I was like, I need to do something about this. So I went and bought my Raid, and yeah. And like I think I have to do it a few rounds because some of like the little ones are still coming back, but I have to get rid of all of them. But yeah, you really appreciate your parents a whole lot more when you start doing little things like this. You start going, I feel so guilty to do it. Someone has, I guess, always just done it for me, but now I have to do it myself. Right? And I'm like, oh my God. But anyways, I'm really loving this candy. I don't know if I will buy another batch, but I am loving this candy. It came to the rescue because I was having like intense sugar cravings and I didn't have any sugar. So this candy has come in quite handy and I am loving that. And I'm going to eventually clean my blinds, but for now I'm still eating candy, slacking off, and I'm thinking I'm going to get myself like a nice little meal. So I am going to go enjoy a little meal and maybe work up some energy. And you know what? I think I may clean the blinds a little bit later on when the light is a little bit, like dimmer outside, so that it's easier for me to film myself while I'm cleaning these blinds. And I was going, should I clean all the blinds in the house? But then I'm like, maybe not. maybe I'll just stick to cleaning my room. And maybe tomorrow I will actually clean the blinds for my mother as well. But for now, I'm like, whew, God, this candy, I'm loving it. And also just thinking about my whole, like, insect episode, just like, wow, that made me again feel quite horrible. But then it made me appreciate my parents more, because I'm like, oh, I guess they have done that for me in the past, and now I have to do it myself. And you really start appreciating your parents and the adults in your life more as you start doing things like that for yourself. Oh my God, guys, so finally I'm actually getting to cleaning these blinds. It's a little bit dark outside, so I can actually have my camera facing this side, which means that now I can get to cleaning. And I am one of those weird people who come alive at night. I'm like, when it's nighttime, I'm just like, oh my God, let me get up and go do all my chores. So I thought that I put my blanket in the washer earlier on. And I thought that I had turned on the washing machine, but then apparently it turns out that I did not. So I was expecting that by now I'll have my pillow in there and that I'm going to be putting my blankets, like in the dryer. But now I actually have had to turn on the washing machine and, wash my blankets. So now my pillow, that will be a thing for tomorrow, which is okay. I'm just going to clean the blinds now, and I'm going to mop my floors because, like I said, I would really, really like to wash my floors quite often. I'm thinking minimum at least 3 times a week, because then in that case, I'm like comfortable to sit on the floor. Otherwise, right now, I'm just like, this room is full of dust. The floors are not clean enough. And I'm just like, I am not sitting on these floors, right? So that's something that I'm going to be working on in the next little while until it becomes a habit and routine. So to clean my blinds, I'm actually just using regular dish soap, and I'm using very hot water, and I am using just a regular cloth, and I'll see how that goes. So yeah, you see, like, although I'm like, although I am a slow girl and I slack off sometimes, I'm like, I actually do get things done eventually. But you know what? I also am one of those who does not mind taking my time. In fact, these days I'm just like, when I meet people, especially men who are interested in me, and I tell them I am a slow girl, and they're like, oh, what do you mean by that? I'm like, I take my time when I'm doing things. And they're just like, oh, I don't understand what that means. I'm like, it just means exactly that. I'm not in a hurry, so I take my time, and if it works out, that's fine. If it doesn't, it's fine as well, So there's no rush, I don't like to stress myself. I just like to take my time. And so I took my time, and now I'm going to do the blinds because I had a day off, and I'm going, if I have a whole day off, why not? That reminds me, I still have my strawberry candies, so I'm going to enjoy some of that while I am cleaning my blinds. But I always say I like to take my time, so that's why most of these chores are not a rush. Anyways, I'm going to go get that done. And yes, I am enjoying some of my yummy strawberry candies while I'm doing this. By how easy it is to clean these blinds, because the last ones that I cleaned were the kitchen ones, and I guess those kitchen ones are more difficult because they not only collect dust, they also collect grease from, I guess, all the cooking. So this is good. This is good. Or it's easy. It's not good. It's easier to clean than the kitchen. Sweating a bit, I guess. This is like not too much fun. Well, it's not fun, but I don't like to sweat. Doing my blinds, and that was honestly not fun. Like, it seemed a whole lot easier before I started, and now I'm just like, you know what, I think I'm just going to do the blinds and mop the floor, and I'll take it easy. Like, I was planning on, you know, like cleaning my bathtub as well, and my sink and the washroom, but then I was just like, you know what, this is my classic example of I take my time, and I just, you know, like when it's on my free time, I'm like, if I feel like I'm doing too much for the day, then I'll just pause. Or if I feel like I'm doing too much for the week, I'll just stop. So I guess that other task I'll do tomorrow. But today I am just going to do my floors and finish, you know, like cleaning the blinds. They are looking quite good. I am impressed by myself. However, oh God, that was not too much fun of a task. So now I'm just going to go and do I'm just going to mop my floors and honestly call it a night. Or I'll do other things, but cleaning up for this long is like, I don't know, that was a little too much. And I'm going to change this water because I put too much soap in it, and I don't think I'll need that much soap for my floor. Honestly, when it comes to mopping my floor, like I said, like this whole thing of being self-reliant and doing my own thing is so new to me. I am so used to using like my mom's things. I'm so used to using her equipment, her mops and things like that. So this is really new to me. So I'm just doing them the old school way because I have not bought myself a mop yet. And I know that it's so easy to just go to the store and pick up a mop. But like I said, I genuinely just like to take, you know, like I just like to take my time when I'm buying things. Because I'm not going to go buy a special mop, but I'm just like, or it is special because I have to think about it for a while. But for now, I'm just like, I'm going to wash the floors the old school way. So I'm like, going on the floor, which honestly, I actually don't mind. I really like it. So, although I honestly don't mind buying myself a mop pretty soon, but I don't mind getting on the floor and just mopping my floor. That's not much of a problem to me. Okay, guys, so I have now finished mopping my floor and I finished fixing my blinds, or I mean cleaning them, and so I'm like, now just ready to wind down, take it easy, and go to sleep. But this was so much fun. Like, this is my first vlog type of thing, and I enjoyed this so much. It's like, oh my god, I'm like, whoo, this is usually me on a regular basis. I'm like, I have so much energy and I don't know what to do. So I was like, oh my god, girl, you need to relax and you just need to take your time and you just need to have fun. But I'm all like, ooh, I also do not want to compromise my personality and miss, like having that part of me come out. But I enjoyed this so much and I'm looking forward to doing more. I'm looking forward to actually getting out there and, like just putting together more content for you guys. So I absolutely believe in humble beginnings. So this is, like just being filmed on my laptop, which is why, like some of the shots are quite awkward, but I honestly don't have a problem with that because I'm just one of those girls that's like, you know what? I want to have fun, and that's all that this is all about. I am having a good time and I hope that you will enjoy the vlog as well. But yeah, so I've finished the tasks that I wanted to get done and I'm feeling quite good because I'm like, oh, I got them done. But otherwise, until next time, you guys have a good time.